for another little 3DS look at, we're gonna look at Puzzles and Dragons and Mario.
And Mario?
Step aside. Good old Puzzles and Dragons, the hit mobile classic. Got a Mario edition on the 3DS. Also paired up with one other game that a lot of people didn't really glance at.
Green
I heard the actual game it was paired with, a lot of people didn't like because of the new mechanics they did.
It felt too gimmicky, whereas ironically, the Mario-centric version is much more closer to its roots.
So first off, yeah, a lot of people are always saying like, "Oh my gosh, Cadence of Hyrule was the first time a big indie game did a Nintendo thing." No, these guys came first.
Yeah.
Well, there must be a reason people don't count this one.
Would you really consider Puzzles and Dragons an indie game, though?
Well, I don't. They're not. I don't really regard them as being made by a super AAA publisher.
Well, in any case,
Puzzles and Dragon again?
Mario! Princess Peach has been stolen away by Bowser and his baddies!
Again.
Not again.
See? It's right here in the letter!
What?
Just straight up.
Hey Mario, I've grabbed Peach and taken those orbs. Got a problem with that? You know where to find me. Laugh, 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 Bowser.
I love how just straight to the point, like, also he signed with the Goron insignia in the upper left. But no, I love how just straight to the point, like, I'm on, same place, same time, you know where to find me.
Found out that Bowser took the princess, but his crew stole those orbs too!
Wait, what?
Keys
What
under the
are
front.
these orbs? You haven't explained anything to me.
My key's under the front door, Matt. You know where to find it.
As concerned as Mario looks, he doesn't even look surprised.
You will get to that. So, you cast a spell to flow the motion. So the orbs are from Puzzles and Dragons. It's how the game is played, and it's surprisingly complex how the system works. Also, that render looks weird without his teeth.
Yeah, that looks a little off.
It really does.
It's for me, Mario. so also think another thing I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna cut out some of this footage because I've already cut out some of the footage because
the first couple of levels are tutorial crap.
Well, that's the thing. This game loves to advertise itself as, yeah, this could be your introduction to the series. Not because they made it simpler, but because they practically, like, overwhelmed it with tutorials and numbers for, like, 45 minutes. Like, yeah, you could teach anybody it if you make it a textbook.
Green Koopa
also
joined you.
Also, Puzzles and Dragons works off of an RPG party mechanic where you have a team leader and you have a team. And your team usually works in Pokemon logic where you capture them.
Right.
So our team is actually a friendly Goomba and Koopa who are actually going to be helping us out.
Huh.
Yay!
And then I can select a official partner, official second in command, which will be Red Toad. It
Why
won't
not
let me choose
Luigi?
Luigi yet.
Not yet though. Luigi will come later.
Yeah, the tutorial actually prevents me.
Why
So,
can't Luigi come now?
so here's how the mechanics of the game work. Also, I love it's kind of funny the weird like render animation they do at the top where they just take separate frames.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
it is an interesting way of doing things. It kind of prevents the game from looking too, for lack of a better word, sterile.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give them credit. The backgrounds for everything looks pretty nice. Like in the sides there, like that looks nice.
Well, and I just say the animated sprites in general, like they do what they can with what they got.
Right. So the way the whole mechanic works is it's almost like it's kind of like Connect 3 but with a twist. Whereas with your usual Connect 3s you can only swap something once.
Ooh.
Like whoa.
Huh.
Like you can swap
Nice.
one block with the block directly next to it. With Puzzles and Dragons, once you tap and start moving, a little stamina meter. God, he got decimated.
Wow,
A
okay.
little meter on the left is like a stamina meter, and I can move around the orb all over the board as long as that meter is still full. So it kind of like you're still swapping things, but it's almost like you swap a train of stuff behind you as you move the orb around.
Challenge thick.
Like watch the orb as I move it around. You'll see how I'm swapping things like multiple places behind me.
Can't I just jump on them?
Unfortunately, Mario jumping does not apply in this land. Now you must obey the laws of RPG rules.
If you want to know how bad the RPG rules are, this game considers Small Mario and Tall Mario to be two separate characters.
What?
Yes.
So I have to unlock Tall Mario before I can use him as a partner.
Yeah, or as a main character rather.
Well, I was just making the joke about how it's like, excuse me, I've been in RPGs before and they let me Koopa stomp there. I don't see a reason why I can't here.
Because
Mario,
you're in
don't you
Puzzle
want
and
to use all these
Dragons.
pretty orbs instead?
I also get the weird suspicion that because it's an emulator, I get the impression that their health bars weren't properly animating with, like, scrolling down as I deal damage, but that's just my guess, or maybe that's like their...
I think it was always like that, because I haven't noticed any major inconsistencies myself.
3 Goombas,
Okay.
the toughest boss in the franchise.
Well,
No,
that's
they actually do... Go ahead.
No, that's all I was saying. That's just the breaks with the tutorial anyway.
They actually do consider a Goomba stack to be its own entity. Like, again, it's Pokemon logic, but when you're with Mario and you can't add any new enemies, you kind of start scraping the bottom of the barrel fast.
Goomba evolves into Goomba Stack.
It's basically Doug Trio. Don't even try to be surprised by
Goomba
it. It's basically
Trio.
Doug Trio.
Yeah.
Also, I do
Another Green Koopa Troopa.
appreciate that if you get any freaking
Duplicates?
repeats, then they just get right to the point.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
So,
Okay.
Okay.
no worries. So, I'm not even gonna try to explain all this tutorial stuff. It's mainly, because you can just read the game's doing it.
Yeah,
fine.
you
got
use Green Toad.
Oh.
Hooray.
Okay, you want the green person I wanted to ask, but I guess the more the merrier.
Has anybody here ever even touched Puzzles and Dragons?
Not until this game.
I played a game they had on iOS, and I guess that's where it got super popular. A lot of stuff was happening. Okay, yep. Now it's time for me to freaking get Luigi in here.
Now the game is good.
There
Bye,
we
Mario.
go. Look at that. No, I'm gonna be losing.
I just love that skill at the bottom. Luigi's
Because
orb.
cause fuck Mario, am I right?
But,
Dude.
but
Okay.
Hey, sis.
I came back to Luigi!
Yep, and look, sis. Luigi has the Luigi aura.
And Green Toad.
and
Green Toad! Green Toad, that's
Yeah.
right.
And yeah,
So-
if it's something we haven't already brought up as well, every character runs under their own specific element type. Whereas like Luigi and the Goombas are all life types, whereas the Koopas are water types, and Mario, well, you kind of got that by now.
He's fire. There's light, dark, grass, water, and the hearts. If I match them, I can heal myself.
And this game does of course run under a typical like rock paper scissors mentality, where some options are better at certain elements than others.
Oh
Right.
boy.
Fire, grass, water is
That's
the same
flashy.
as Pokemon. Light and dark are both good against each other. So now onto the parts that kind of make me feel a little uncanny while I'm playing this. Despite the fact that the game has a lot of interesting mechanics that I'm trying to use to the best of my ability, nice. I swear there are times where I almost feel like they almost borrowed too many assets.
Kind of,
Down
yeah.
to music, art style, character renders.
Yeah, because I've been hearing
Yeah.
a lot of new...
Art style will give a little more credit, because at least it's not just ripped straight from the games. Like, they actually touch it up quite a bit. I mean, look at those colors. They just pop. But otherwise, I will agree in terms of, like, the overall sound quality and some of the sound effects, but that's about the worst it ever gets.
Don't.
yeah, this
Right.
is kind of like it's not really. It's not as bad. It's not nearly as bad as shovelware, but you can tell that they were working on a really tight budget.
Which makes sense considering that they basically had to make 2 games on 1 cartridge. They probably didn't have a lot of time.
Which is funny, because I think in Japan, the two games are, like, separate. Whereas we
This
got
Goomba
it
has
was
no
all in
right
one
to be
pack
as
for the
beefy as it is.
for the hip price of $30.
Right. I don't play Dragon Quest, but I already know Dragon Quest has a huge following, so I'm not gonna knock on this thing. I imagine for the people who really enjoy Puzzles and Dragons, this is a great little palette swap to
Another
see.
boss!
And,
But
if you're gonna start Puzzles and Dragons anywhere, and you don't want to deal with freemium bullshit like the actual mobile game, you really can't go wrong with this version.
But other than that, yeah, especially when you get into all the mechanics, it can be kind of a palette swap. So I guess we'll talk about that. So if you ever played a mobile game like this, please stop me, because it's pretty much exactly like that, where you collect characters like the Koopa Troopas and Goombas. You can fuse these quote-unquote cards together to get a stronger card.
Ooh, a star
You
point.
can level up the card with experience points. You can equip different teams with different stats. You can get skills after a certain number of turns. There we go.
Like, honestly, let's be real here. If this game wasn't on the 3DS and actually was a mobile game, they would have gone full hog with the freemium shit.
And I think that was the point. That was where I felt so nervous because it was like, you ever had that feeling where like you're leaning back in your chair and you're leaning a little bit too far back and you feel like you're about to fall over before you catch yourself? That's what playing this game felt like for me, because I was like, at any moment they're gonna throw. At any moment, I'm expecting to see an ad play or like or ask me to rush or fill up a stamina meter. Like, oh, you can only play 5 levels every hour, or otherwise you can use this.
And
currency.
now, a word from our sponsors. Get Mario Kart Tour today.
I'm still very curious about Mario. Yeah, screw. Okay, first off, thoughts. Gui, what do you think about this?
It just doesn't look like my kind of game, honestly.
That is
Are you
absolutely
much into,
fair.
now that I'm thinking about it, are you much into puzzlers? Well, actually, I should shut myself right there because you actually like Honey Pop, and I'm still shocked you like Honey Pop. So
She likes Honey Pop. She likes Talos Principle. Those are good
It's like with Honey
games.
Pop. I swear it's for the puzzles.
Celia, what do you think of this?
I agree with Ali. It's not really. It looks cute, but it's not really my kind of game.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst I would say about it, is that it's very niche.
yeah.
For the people who love these games, I'm sure this is great.
Admittedly, I feel like what I would have preferred is if this game focused more on the puzzle elements as opposed to just being straight up RPG. Because I don't know, I'd rather prefer like getting as many combos as I possibly can within a time limit as opposed to just doing it all in one shot. That just feels kind of harsh to me.
And
They do a cute thing here where, depending on which one I make the most swaps with, it lets me take the pipe or the path. So I'll swap more fires than waters, and now we go up to the sky area. And here we have to clear out, and here we have to get a combo. We don't have to get it all at once, but we just have to get enough of a combo that gets 6 combos. Anyway, back to you, Gui.
yeah, so I'm just not drawn in by the idea of a match 3 RPG.
Which is fine.
It just, I don't know.
It feels
Just-
too limiting.
Well,
It
yeah, and
can
also,
work in some
yeah,
cases, but
it feels too
I mean-
slower. It feels too slow paced to me. I
But
don't know if
it's-
that's entirely accurate, but yeah.
as
I get what you
as somebody who liked that one game whose name I completely forgot, which kind of defeats the point of what I was trying to say. Remember that game we played where it was like Bejeweled, but also made by Square Enix, and it was like you would rotate them around?
Gyromancer?
Yeah, Gyromancer.
Yeah, I remember thinking that game just seemed alright.
How are these
Which that's the
bosses
thing.
again?
Which that's the thing, don't worry, we'll get to an actual boss there. I know, it's weird. But yeah, so as someone who likes that, again, I'll admit, this game's fairly, I'll say this game is fairly niche. Yeah, so now that we've gotten those thoughts out of the way, Mario Kart Tour. We saw a trailer for that recently.
I haven't seen that trailer yet, actually.
All
I'll
you need
have to show
to
it to you.
know, hype, is that alternate costumes are confirmed, and the Marios are actually going to race not just in courses
Mario
we're familiar
Worlds.
with, but courses from all across the world, like Paris.
Yep, like they're gonna make actual stages based on real life locations.
Huh.
And the main thing and they brought back super items. It's very similar to Double Dash, where like Bowser can shoot a giant Koopa shell forward, or DK gets a giant banana peel to throw behind him.
The only major offset for the game so far is that it's considering the reception of the beta. I'm wondering if they're going to change the gotcha elements that much, because not a lot of people jived with it very well, and I don't blame them either. Like tying that, just gotcha games and Nintendo mobile games just don't do it. Just don't fucking do it. Learn from Dr. Mario World. Don't do that shit again.
Well, don't.
I was gonna say
Or better yet, just don't do gotcha gimmicks in general. Because I don't
Actually,
think
you know,
anyone likes gotcha.
I was gonna say actually I never played it because I didn't have Android. What did we learn? What was shared about the closed beta?
Mario,
Yeah.
that the gotcha elements weren't that great, and apparently there's a chance that one character could get 5 blue shells.
Oh.
What? That's
Huh.
Which I'm pretty sure they've likely fixed during the development stages. But
Yeah.
I just don't see what use you would ever have for that.
if you really hate the first place winner that much,
Like, oh
Because-
my god, could you imagine if somebody found I don't know, because you
Like,
just keep getting different people.
It's basically them taking cues from CTR, I guess.
Nobody think
on my
too
knees
deep.
I consume the souls of my enemies.
I was gonna say, nobody think too deep into what I just did there. I just sacrificed a Koopa and a Goomba to to fill Luigi with their power.
Is that what
Honestly,
you?
They're gone now.
Is that what you do in Puzzle and Dragons?
Yes, you sacrifice creatures to like the. It's,
Oh,
it's a
actually,
trading
now
card
that I think
thing.
about it, Gui, didn't you play Pokemon Quest for a while?
A little while, yeah.
Do you remember that one mechanic where you can train your Pokemon to be higher level if you have them go against Pokemon you don't use anymore?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
You never used that thing?
Oh. She didn't get far then.
Oh, no, wait, no. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I forgot that was a thing in that game. Yeah, I did do that.
So that's pretty much the same case here.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
you're not killing them. You're just kind of setting them free.
No, you clearly swat them last I remember.
Either way, it's that
Well, like,
system.
or like they're just booted from your camp. That's kind of
Either
what
way-
I got from it.
Either way, the system is still there. Of you sacrifice one thing to get something else. It's an exchange.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much.
So Mario Kart Tour, so the Mario Kart Tour has, yeah, so I'm hoping that's the case. Again, the main thing I'm still on the jury about is, from the beta, how did they say the game was controlled?
I haven't heard any complaints about the controls so much, though I do know it's gyro based. Though I think you can switch it to touch based, but don't quote me on that.
Okay, because...
So it is
never
mobile
get-
then.
Yeah, it's
Oh no, it's a mobile game. It's an iOS Android game coming out next month.
Ah.
I believe it's next. Is it September? Yeah, September 25th. And I'm assuming they're going to do something similar. I feel like at most I could see them doing something similar to Mario Run, where it's free at first. Nice. Nice. It's free at first, but then yeah, we're kind of gods.
Overkill much?
It's where it's free at first, but if you pay a fairly decent amount, like that was the thing. Mario Run, usually you pay like $2. Mario Run was like $10. I would assume it's something like that, but I don't know because I don't think that's how.
Okay, now this is just the meaning.
I'm honestly convinced they're not going to do that because I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess they were a little disturbed by the fact that not that many people actually went and bought the $10 price of admission for that game. So they just
Sucks,
thought
'cause I thought it
the
was
whole
fun.
thing failed, which is which is stupid because I honestly thought it was ingenious.
Right, no,
Actually,
I
it
thought
just-
I thought that was fine. I thought that was a fair trade-off. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I'll agree that Super Mario Run needed a little more to justify that price tag, but still, it beats
Yeah.
out it beats out freemium shit by a mile.
Right. Go ahead, Hyde.
I was just gonna say, I joke about it, but I really don't understand the pathos of a lot of these bosses. Like, that boss was just like, oh, it's just a couple of Goombas and a Koopa. How's that different from, like, the regular matches where we fought basically the exact same thing?
They're probably
I
just
really
higher
don't
leveled.
know. Here, now we're gonna actually fight a boss, and I promise
An
I will
actual
show off
boss.
actual bosses in this. But yeah, I guess that's just the automatic. I think that's just the automatic music that plays when it's the final battle. Again, the whole game kind of just feels a little off. But anywho's, so yeah, I guess I guess when you put it like that, they're probably just gonna do what they did with Dr. Mario.
Yeah, they're more than likely gonna do that, and that's what kind of sucks.
So,
Because that's just how it goes in mobile games these days.
I think I kind of missed it. What happened with Dr. Mario World?
Well, it's
Dr.
just
Mario
it's
World
just-
is very rife with freemium bullshit.
Well, it just went
not so
so
much-
bare bones.
Well, it's the matter of fact that, well, let's just say that if you want to get new doctors or whatever, you have to gain enough coins or buy the game's crystals, or excuse me, gems.
pony up.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Also-
again premium currency shit, and
Yeah.
well, and the problem is it's not even guaranteed what you're gonna get when you actually purchase a ticket for staffing. So
Right.
more often
However-
than not, you're gonna get assistants, which fucking bugs the shit out of me, and maybe every once in a blue moon you'll get actual doctors, the things you
I
actually
would-
want to get.
I would like if there was a way to exchange all the assistants for more attempts to get an actual doctor. Like the more you got, that
That'd be
would
nice.
seem nice. I want something like that from Nintendo. That's what I expect. Is like at least to have some sort of fairness.
Well, I know as far as Mario Kart Tour is concerned, the most that they're going to have to make you work for if they're going to stick to that plan is characters and carts.
Oh, that's still quite a bit. So then, trying to think.
I don't think they're going to do any level up bullshit like they do with Dr. Mario World, though, so at least we'll probably be spared that much.
I will say that to play devil's advocate, I'm not against this freemium stuff if it's in a free game originally.
Yeah.
It's when this stuff happens in like Overwatch or any of Activision's games where you've already paid money. You've already paid like $40 to $60 to own the game, and then it says no, you don't get all the game yet, not unless you pay more money.
Yeah,
I just think
that's bullshit.
Well, yeah, that'll always be bullshit at the end of the day. But even when it comes to free stuff, I just hate when it's like it comes to a point where it locks out a good bulk of the game through those means, and even then, and even worse, and when it's a game of chance.
Well, no, yeah, it's the fine line between that and gambling is already so paper thin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is why I'm surprised we haven't come to a point where like it's just unanimously considered that it's gambling and it should be considered illegal, especially for minors.
Oh yeah,
I
actually, there are some countries in Europe that are really cracking down on that.
I know.
But
I know in Belgium, they're actually not. I don't think they're going to release Mario Kart Tour there just because of the game, the microtransaction stuff.
Or they'll have to reformat it, or they'll have to restructure it like Activision did.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, like I don't know if they were cracking down on, premium games that do that, or if
They're really
if it's just
cracking.
on free games.
They're really just cracking down on games that encourage gambling, like, games that you've already paid for, and there's content that's locked out to you unless you pay an amount of money for a chance to get something new.
Right.
That's
I agree with
gambling.
That's always messed up. Here you go, Hype.
Boom, boom.
Oh, it's boom
Well,
boom.
it is a boss. But yeah, just
Finally.
that whole thing, it is rife. I mean, I don't know why we have such a big deal about it. I mean, everyone knows it's just the parents' fault.
If only that were more
part
closer
of
to the
it.
truth.
Yeah, it is partly on the parents to moderate what the kids are doing and to just watch where they're spending their money.
Right, or have the card.
Ooh.
Tackle.
Oh, noise.
Ow.
Or have the card, locked as parental control. Seely, what do you feel about Mario Kart Tour?
I don't have too many thoughts on it, honestly.
Finally, the skills are
have
ready.
Have you seen the trailer yet, Seely?
No, I
Trying
don't
just
know.
wood orbs.
I haven't
Well, then
either.
give it a watch. It's actually pretty
Okay.
cool.
Watch as I decimate this guy to the power of magic. So this lets me change all wood orbs into water orbs. This one lets me change all water orbs into fire orbs.
Oh wow.
Okay.
This lets me change all
You're-
fire orbs into light orbs.
You're
Pick
ranking
one
up
already.
those combos.
The only downside though is that characters that actually get to attack in a turn is dependent on like what elements actually are counted.
Right, so it's only 2 guys attacked with all that. Ow.
So yeah, that helped out so much.
It did something. It looked cool.
It looked cool,
flashy.
What the
but
heck's the, what
Was
the
it
heck's the point? Go ahead.
it looked cool, but was it practical? Not in the
No,
slightest.
I was gonna say no. It's a JRPG. What do you think?
Oop.
Well, there he goes.
Oh, there you are.
I
Luigi
hope-
finally got
really?
skills like,
Just
I'm ready
as I
now.
got my special ready.
You know what?
man, no, but yeah, of course it looked cool, but wasn't practical. It's a JRPG. You kidding me? All right, we're done there. I'm gonna stop there. The boss of the place was Iggy because it's always Iggy, and just the full yeah. So that's Puzzles of Dragons and Mario. I'm not gonna bash on the game from a whole because I never was super into Puzzles and Dragons to begin with. I'm positive that seeing the palette swap for this with Puzzles and Dragons, I'm sure was wonderful. I just personally, the game wasn't for me, but it was cool to see the game actually be released on a full-fledged console with Nintendo support, no less.
Right. It's just at the end of the day, it's especially an acquired taste.
Yeah, I feel like it was largely an obligation from someone to do a crossover, and that's why it kind of looked cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, at least they made do with what budget they had. But yeah, in any case, see y'all next time.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Hold on.